Everything old is new again. Today the Rolling Stones release On Air, a collection of much bootlegged BBC live studio broadcasts taped for a variety of programs between 1963 and 1965. The remastered set provides a rare glimpse of the young musicians playing to order the songs that defined their early hybrid sound and telegraphed, much like the Beatles, their love for African American music. The recently restored archival recordings map their transition from astute performers of seminal Black American blues and roots music to legitimate codifiers of its, mostly white, bastard offspring. From I Can't Be Satisfied to I Can't Get No Satisfaction, from Route 66 to 2120 South Michigan Avenue. Full circle, full steam ahead. The release of these archival recordings, following on from last year's bristling blue and lonesome set and the recent nostalgia-laden No Filter tour, are a reminder of how entwined the band's legacy is with the pioneers of Black American music. From their Delta roots to their electric spirit animal offspring, Chicago and West Coast blues, Stax and Motown soul and early Sun and Chess rock and roll, the old masters had cast a wicked spell over the young lads from Dartford. This, of course, is in stark contrast to the saccharine radio programming Mick Jagger and Keith Richards had grown up with in the 1950s, in which appropriating another person's culture and creative output had turned an artistic endeavor into a form of soft manufacturing. Music production became a lucrative industry, with straight-edge white performers like Bill Haley, Perry Como and Pat Boone cutting sanitized versions of Little Richard, Big Joe Turner and Fats Domino records when the original renditions were still fighting their way up the pop charts. As Richard explained in the Chuck Berry documentary Hail! Hail! Rock and Roll? Cultural appropriation in a musical context doesn't have to be at the exclusion of the original artist or the culture from which they carved their path. Pinching musical phrases and stylistic approaches, when done thoughtfully and with a desire to connect with the original work's unique properties, has always been a part of the art-making process. And yet, as artists like the Stones and the Beatles have demonstrated, it should not be a closed circuit. It should manifest itself as a social and artistic conversation across languages, across media, and across generations, a form of cultural exchange. Although, as Keith Richards discovered when working with Chuck Berry in the late 1980s, getting it right ain't always easy. There is inevitably a price to pay, and Richards more than anyone knows the score. For every lift, there is a link to the past, a debt owed and a palm to grease. With every lick comes a nod and a cheeky wink. A medium of social exchange. The production of culture is very much informed by the technology that enables it. The Philadelphia and New York disco movement, for instance, were as much a technological evolution as a dance floor phenomena. Legendary DJs such as Frankie Knuckles and Larry Levin would isolate, cut, loop and layer sounds using reel-to-reel tapes to create extended remixes to maximize a track's dance floor credentials. In much the same way, hip-hop culture helped facilitate the emergence of the remix as a technological act via turntablism, scratching and later sampling.